Launched in September, the One Roar Fund will serve as a vehicle to help all 31 of Columbia's varsity athletics programs and club sports to compete at the highest level. We remain committed to providing our student athletes with the best resources available to help them achieve their goals. Although competition has been postponed, the competitive fire within our student athletes still burns as they await the call to return to athletic events. One Roar will provide our 700-plus student athletes with the necessary resources to stay in prime shape, mentally sharp, and above all, healthy and safe, as we await the continuation of Ivy League play. Together, we roar as one.
Welcome back to Conversations with the Coaches. We're joined again with Coach Justin Stovall, a 6-year veteran on the Columbia football coaching staff. He's our special teams coordinator, and hopefully you've caught his talk last fall about the special teams. But today we're here to talk to Coach Stovall about the linebacker play and the linebacker position. Coach Stowe, thanks for joining us.
It's great to be here, Greg. Thanks for having me.
We'll get right to it. You've been the linebackers coach here for 6 seasons. When you're recruiting linebackers, what are you looking for at that position?
Well, a couple things. When I look at the film, right, looking for the upside. Obviously, the talent can be undeniable, but something to build on, right? The foundation. They don't have. I like a guy that can be raw. I like a guy that doesn't necessarily play linebacker, right? And I think I heard Max say it in his talk. It's doing a bunch of things that I can't coach. I'm looking for that, but then I'm also, from a personality perspective, I focus back on the pillars of our program. I think about the linebackers, who's in the room, personalities, and I think about, does this guy fit in our locker room? Does this guy fit in our position room? And then after that, it's like, let's move on him or not.
Awesome. Now, I know from your special teams talk, you're very meticulous about organizing practice and drills, building up to running full plays. What are some of your favorite drills you run with the linebackers that help them prepare for games or work on techniques? What are some of your favorites?
Yeah. So, I think all of my drills are built with something in mind, right? It's the process. So for us, the process is the pre-snap, then all the way up to the finishing of the play, tackling. So depending on how much time we have together in individual and practice where we can work through our drills, we're going to go through the structure of beginning to end, right? So if I have 20 minutes, I might spend more time on the pre-snap formation, communication, identification, things like that, to then footwork, keys and reads, block destruction, and then tackling. Those are the core, right, of the things that we're going to do every single day. And then it's about how much time do we have. If we have 5 minutes, we're going to wrap it through, go from start to finish. If we have 20 minutes, we're going to spend more time on each subject, especially the things that we need to work on, to be successful. So, and then when you get week to week, it might, Princeton might be more formational based, Penn might be more block destruction, things that we need to do in that element. So we based on the game plan.
Well, this is a kind of a bonus question playing off that, but the linebackers, it's really 3 different positions. Do you have to do different drills for different positions? Your Mike, your Will?
Yeah, I think you just have to. I don't think you have to do different drills. I think you have to present it differently, right? You have to talk to it about why it makes sense for them, right? And what is the scenario that they're using this technique that you're drilling, and so a lot of them are the same, right? A lot of them are the same. So
Awesome. So, we asked you this question in the fall, but I think it's a great question to ask someone who's been here the last 6 years. But, something about New York or Columbia that's unique to you. I mean, last fall you talked about, the transportation and the ease of getting around and the great alumni network. Do you have anything else to add or anything to elaborate on those?
and I think it's the same thing for me as a recruiter or anybody else. I mean, look who leads the program. Coach Bagnoli. Look who leads the defense. Paul Ferraro. When I talk to guys that I'm recruiting or thinking about coming to be part of the Columbia family, I think about the opportunity to learn from the best. Like, it's the same thing that still attracts me to this place day in and day out. Is, dude, I spent 2 hours on a call with Al Bagnoli today talking about everything that a head coach has to be concerned with. And for me, I'm sponging that stuff up if that's where I ever want to be. So that's what's exciting. When for me, I may be trying to pull different things out of the program to grow than a player would, but all of those pieces to grow at an exponential rate as an individual are here.
And if you're a linebacker, core special teams guy, you got to get coached by Coach Stovall. So.
You ain't yell at.
So, you mentioned in the fall your favorite place to eat. You had Lion's Head and Blondie's for wings. Obviously, the fan favorite Carmine's for Italian food. This is going to be a little different question, putting you on the spot. What's your favorite place to grab a slice of pizza in New York? It's no pizza.
You can't do that to me. But you did. So I'll say this. The reason that New York's the best for pizza and they still get voted number one for pizza, because I think it doesn't matter where you're at. Anywhere in whatever block you can find a pizza joint. They got the sign on the window that says the best in the world, voted number one, and you drop in there and you'll believe it. It's good pizza. So it's just so much pizza flying around everywhere in New York. So I love it.
That's spoken like a true New York City veteran there. So you talked about your favorite special teams moments, but let's drill down to the linebackers. What are some of your favorite linebacker moments since you've been at Columbia?
Wow. I'll say this. There's a couple moments that stick out to me in particular, but they may not be what everybody may think too. Like, I remember back in our first year, Christian Conway had maybe the most productive play I've ever had of a linebacker make. I think he had a sack, a strip, and a fumble recovery against Yale, and so that was like unbelievable. Then John Marco Rea had an unbelievable season. I mean, just week in and week out, just making double-digit tackles. Was up for all league, or he was all league, but he was up for player of the year. And then, even that same year, like Parker Tobia, like I look back on, he had one career start, but that dude worked his whole career for that opportunity. And we had one of our best wins against Penn at homecoming. So to see a guy who worked so hard but take away such a great memory and experience, for me, that's a great memory, and those are the ones that stick out the most. Watching a young player like Scotty Valentes be super productive as a freshman, Mike Murphy having I think that same week Parker started, I think he won defensive player of the week in the country for unbelievable plays, tackles for loss, things like that. So those are the ones.
It's I've had the fortunate experience of talking to some of these guys for some of our virtual events, and one of the things that stood out is how great your linebacker room is. I was talking to Scott Valentes, and just the fact that the upperclassmen who'd been here for years where he was starting over him, and they were talking to him and mentoring him, and that's what it's all about. The older guys mentor the younger guys, and some plays.
I hate Ryan Fitzpatrick because he went to Harvard, but I like that. And I say that jokingly, but I love the mentality of an older guy grooming a younger guy. That culture, the cheering, the being for each other. It's like if we're all out here worrying about our individual awards, we'll never accomplish anything collectively.
Absolutely. Well, Coach Stowe, thanks for sitting down with us again. The alumni are really getting to know you. You have any final words for our fans or alums?
Go Blue, baby. I cannot wait till the fall. Let's go.
Now I'm joined with Jalen Williams, class of 2020. He was a linebacker, played in 38 games and started 14, and was an integral part of our 2019 campaign, and was our Mignati Remmer Unsung Hero Award winner for our 2019 season. Jalen, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
No problem. So
we just talked to Coach Stowe, and I just want to get your opinion, what it was like to play for Coach Stowe, what he's like in the meeting rooms, on the practice field, and ultimately on game days.
Yeah, Stowe is a joy to play for. Absolutely. It's bringing energy at all times. He expects the best out of everybody that is in that room at all times, but it's not an environment where you're 100% serious all the time, where you're free. He wants you to be loose. He wants you to play like how you want to play. You know what I'm saying? It's great as long as we're doing what we need to do, handling our job. It's awesome. It's a great environment to be in. Indie periods are fun as all get out. We all make our little jokes about how loud Stowe can be during the indie periods. Everybody knows the bomb joke. Everybody knows that joke, and so it's a joy to play for Stowe. He's absolutely 100% caring of everybody that is in that room. He give you the shirt off his back, and love that guy to death. And so it's always energetic, it's fun, it's competitive. He makes sure to bring that competitive aspect. That's one thing that I really loved about it, was that it was always somebody was always breathing down your neck, right? He fed that environment, and that's how we breathe. You breathe the best players, right? Pressure makes diamonds, and so that's what I loved about it. It was always competitive, but the energy was always there, and I loved every bit of it.
You have any tidbits about what he was like on game day on the sideline?
Game day and on the sideline is actually funny because I rode front seat with Stowe to one of our home games, and I looked over to see what he was listening to, because I had no idea. I figured Stowe would be like a heavy metal guy, something like that. Nah, Stowe was listening to the Carter 2 by Lil Wayne, and it was at that moment I was like, all right, I need to be here. And and he's just as serious as every one of us. It's like Stowe's in his own game day mode, right? And I remember we were getting ready for a scrimmage for Cornell, and he was so serious. It was almost like he was going to be playing the game with us, and just having that kind of energy from a coach, it does nothing but support what we have trying to go and what we're trying to go out do and win, and trying to win football games and play as the unit that we're supposed to. So I loved it.
He is definitely an energetic guy. Well, Jalen, thank you so much for your insight. Hopefully we see you at some games this fall. And until then, be well.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Lamb.
Next Thursday on Conversations with the Staff, we'll sit down with running backs coach Joe DeRazio.